Good day, folks. Welcome to 406 Regen. Back out here in the what we call the well house coulee. This is where I had the sheep, and I ran them across it real quick to clean this area up. It's been about 23 days since I started them out here. Grass it's greening up really nice out here, but of course it's not getting very tall yet. You know, that's little alfalfa here. It's trying, but yesterday and today is t-shirt weather, so this stuff's really gonna spring up. So I just wanted to kind of do a nice walk out here and kind of see how it's going. As you can tell, the green's coming up really nice through this extra carbon I got laid down with the sheep. It's doing good. In the camera, it kind of looks like dirt, but that's it's just cover. There is some more bare spots out here, but you know, this is only I've only had animals across this twice since we've planted it. As you can still tell that the seed rows and stuff. Down here where it gets a little bit more moisture and stuff, the alfalfa's a little taller, a little greener. This is really doing nice. I'm really excited to see what this is going to turn into after that impact of those animals been across it like that. So it's going to be very exciting to see. I think I got some of those rose bushes out here, but not too many shrubs or nothing. So I'm glad that I don't have to deal with too much shrubs on one hand. On the other hand, I need to figure out how to make something for shade for my animals, because they'll be happier with shade. Last year I had a couple that were acting like they were trying to get heat stroke on me when I first got them, and so I got to figure out what I'm going to do to build for shade. But this is all looking really nice out here. I'll tell you what, it sure is nice to see some green, being some warm weather. And the alfalfa's coming in strong, it looks like. You got lots of alfalfa plants coming in. Good mixture of grass in here. It's very exciting to see what this is going to do. We planted this about 4 years ago, but this is the first wet year we've had since we planted any of our ground. So I won't be able to tell, I'm very excited just from 4 years ago, the work, and seeing what this is going to shoot up to be. Oh yeah, here we go. See, there's a wonderful rose bush. There's another little pile of them. It's going to be, I can't wait to see what this is going to shoot up to be like and how tall it gets, and the diverse mixture in here. It's going to be very exciting. So, probably, might not even know what to do with all the grass this might produce compared to this out here. That'll be fun. So, but yeah, just doing a kind of a walk around, enjoying the sunshine. I moved the sheep, all that this morning. Didn't show none of that. It's just another move. So we're on the daily rotations with them, and they're liking that. So as you can see, it's greening up out here pretty decent. Not expecting anything to really shoot up and grow very tall in too big a hurry, but you never know. So that book report on No Risk Ranching by Greg Judy, that's going to be coming out here in the next couple videos. It's can't believe it took me this long to read it. It's a very quick book, but I kept getting interrupted. So it'll be good. I'll see if I can't make a decent review on it for everybody. So shouldn't have taken me this long to read it, but life got in the way. And again, that's also why I said I was doing these like this, these reports, is to try to keep me to keep them relevant, to keep me reading them all the time, to keep everything fresh in my mind, because otherwise you'll just let life get in your way, and there you are. Now you haven't got no books read for a month or two. And yeah, so yeah, this is all turning. This here's turning nice and green too. So this field here, this is where I had the sheep all fall. Well, I mean, I started, they were on this all winter, but they started here, right there at the corner by the fence line, and we walked them across this 40 or 50 here all winter. So, and this stuff hasn't had no animal impact on it for a few years either. So it'll be interesting to see what this will do with that higher intensity animal impact. 2 winters ago I had the horses out here, but 5 horses on 50 acres over the course of the winter, and you're feeding them bales, they're not really doing much. So, but it's going to be very exciting because this field was starting to produce more volunteer alfalfa, to the point where I really wasn't even cutting it because I wanted it to establish itself and the drought hit. But as I'm walking across here, there's definitely some good amount of alfalfa plants trying to come up. And that sun, I'll tell you what, that sun's got some heat to it today. I actually got a small sunburn on my arm yesterday, just out working, not even thinking about it. Until you hop in the shower at night and that water hits that sunburn. You think about it then. But yeah, no, it's definitely greening up, and lots of young alfalfa trying. Now this out here on these alfalfa, this is all volunteer stuff. So on a good wet year, I was actually expecting this here field, this 40. So it goes that power line there, follows this fence, and then about where that shed's at, and then back to that well house coulee. I'm expecting this field here to turn into my best one we got on the whole place, just from all the volunteer alfalfa that was coming in terms of forage an acre. But I think I'll since I'm doing this, is kind of turning into a little bit of a pasture walk day. Maybe I'll ride out back and see what that's all doing out back out there. Now it's had a few warm days on it, and see what kind of stuff we got starting up out there. Should be interesting, and I'll show you guys where I'm gonna be putting up my fence. I got it planned out. It's about 170 acres where I'm going to fence off to rotate the sheep through, and then build off of that fence as money comes in or whatever. So it's what a person has to do. I mean, there's always options. If a person wanted to, we could go get, get a $400,000 loan if you put it against the place, and go get some wells and some fencing, and that's not an option for us. It is, but it's not one we're going to take. This place is paid off. We've been in the family since 1911, so I'd just as soon not have anything against the place. Plus, it's my uncle's, not mine, so he'd do it, but we're not doing that route. The other route is to build it as you go, which is, that's what we're doing. So I'll ride out back and I'll show you all where I'm going to build, look at some of the fields out back, and enjoy the day. So that's what I'm going to do. Pick up trash, it looks like. Tell you what, the wind in this country, whether it be blowing stuff off the back or out of the back end of your truck, or blowing it in from Idaho, there's always trash. Really, it kind of sucks. But alright, yeah, I'm going to hop on the four-wheeler. We're going to ride out back and we're going to look and see what's happening out there. I'll get with you when I get out there. Alrighty, I got out back here. That last snowstorm actually laid down more of this than I thought. I don't know if it's picking up the camera here that good, but as you can tell, it's all kind of laying down this way, which is great. I wanted to get something out here to do that, but the snow's helping me out a little bit. Now down in here you can see this has a cover on it all winter, and this alfalfa is way better off as far as, I mean, it's weeks ahead of what that other is, so that's awesome. Out here where there was more cover, more warmth because of the cover, it's taking off pretty good. And look how well that one there's taking off. Look at that. Starting to collect some sunshine now. We looked at the report. It's supposed to be tomorrow is like a high of 51. Then the rest of the week is like 70s. So hopefully we don't skip right past spring into summer. But I'm excited for this year so far because it's the wettest we've been the last 4 years. This grass here is doing really good. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with this field here. I'm not sure how many animals I can put out here. This is a small lease ground, so I'm not sure how many head I can run all at once on this little field. But I'm going to have to do something with this. This it needs to be cleaned up a little bit. But I can't wait to see what's going to come through on it. It's doing really good. This out here, across this road, I can do whatever I want with it. So let's walk over there and let's see how that's doing. Oh yeah, see, we don't have the cover over here, but even this alfalfa is doing really good. The snow was covering up a little bit down. Yeah, I'm excited. This is gonna be some good forage out here this summer for these sheep. Now, I'm gonna run the net on this. This field goes beyond the power lines over the hill there and over this hill. I'm not gonna put no high tensile up on this one yet because this is an interior kind of field, and I need to start getting my high tensiles up on the perimeter where I can. So I'm going to show you all that where I'm going to do that, but I just thought I'd walk out here, see how it's all greening up and doing. You know, start getting excited after a long winter. Come out here, look at your grass. And alfalfa. So it's coming up fairly nicely. You can tell it's doing good. We are gonna have some good green grass this year out here in alfalfa. I don't know. I had some cover crops in this I planted a couple years ago. I don't know if they sprouted, if I planted them too deep and they never got wet enough to sprout. Most likely that was just tuition, you know, it's not gonna come up. I'd be very excited to see some like plantain and chicory and some of that I had out here come up, but not really expecting it to. But the alfalfa, meadow brome, intermediate. All that's going to be out here coming up pretty nice this year. It's going to be very exciting to see what is going to grow and how tall it's going to get. I'll take you over on this field, right over the hill. There's a spot, one small little spot that the grass actually grew to about chest height on me last year in the middle of that drought. So on a wet year like this, oh, it's gonna be awesome. Now for people like back east and stuff, it's, you know, that's just chest high grass. That's just grass. No, we don't get chest high grass out here. You're lucky to get knee high in central Montana here. So hopefully that wind's not doing too terribly bad. But I'm gonna go ahead, hop on the four-wheeler. I'll take you over where that grass is at and look at that corner. Then I'm gonna go and show you where I plan on fencing. So see you in a second. Okay, so I'm in this corner where it grew really good, but a lot of it's laying down now. There we go. So here's a blade of grass, and that comes up. It's just right under my sternum. If that's how tall it can get in a drought, now I'm 6 feet. I'm 6 foot tall. So if that's as tall as it can get in a drought, can't wait to see what it's gonna do in the good wet year. Now granted, this here's kind of on this backside, this hill, you know, it might have had a little bit more moisture here. Maybe that's why it did so good. As you can tell, it's definitely laying down. It's got good cover here. So you can actually dig. It's nice and warm down there too. Can actually dig for it. So I gotta get something out and get some of this, get some biology happening, because right now there's no biology out here, or next to none. So here, what I'll do, let's see, this is a really wet coulee, but let's walk out here, okay? Now, other than some wildlife here and there, well, this is where all the water sits. Other than the wildlife here and there grazing on it, there's no animals out here. Okay. And biology is just not here to actually cover something. So yeah, it's great. You know, it's got cover for days. You know, there's that much thatch on it, right? And that's, I mean, in a working system, that's absolutely what you want, because that'll just disappear in a year. With no biology in it though, that just builds up and it'll suffocate your ground. So there's that line, there's a fine line management that you gotta have and perform on the stuff. And that out there has had no animal impact, like say, other than some wildlife here and there. Well, neither's this field. But this one we worked 4 years ago and planted, hasn't had nothing off of it since then. Now, you gotta remember, the first year was decent for moisture, and then the next 3 were just drought. So right here in this corner, this is about what the whole field should look like, but once you get up higher, it's real short, stemmy stuff. So, all right, I'm gonna hop over to the field where I'm gonna start my fencing. I'll catch you then. Okay, folks, so I'm on top of the hill here at the second. I'm gonna start my corner right down there at that fence line. it's gonna go that way. It's gonna go this way. I'm gonna walk over the top of the hill here so you can actually hear me. Get down here out of this wind. So it's gonna, sorry folks, you got bumped. It's gonna follow that green right there. So over this hill, it's gonna go out there along where you can see the green, about halfway. Right there where you can see that ridge, that one, it's gonna come across and it's gonna hit me the fence line over there, and then it's gonna come back across right here, and that'll be 160 acres of this that I'm gonna do. And this fence and the one right back here, so it's gonna the L of the box, that's both sides, so that's gonna be permanent. So that's what I gotta try to do. I gotta build this fence in sections, but I'm trying to get as much permanent in the sections as I can. Now I've never done paddock divisions, so like I say, it's gonna be 160 acres. Obviously I can't run poly wire from that ridge line over there to the one behind me, so there's gonna have to be a couple of single strands of high tensile going back and forth. I'm not exactly sure how far I should put those apart. I'll do some more studying and research on that. It's got to be less than the poly rolls, of course, but I'm not exactly sure how much I want to do with that, on how many divisions I have to put in of that single strand. You know, I'll probably comment on the Greg Judy's or something. I'll ask and keep reading his books and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just a gorgeous day in central Montana today when I'm over the side of the hill here and out of that wind. As you can tell, you know, things are greening up. That really green spot out there, that's a hay field. That spot there is the one field we planted that's got a lot of the dead standing, so it looks brown. And of course this here is all was planted too. First time we planted this one, I think the grasshoppers got to it, so then we came in and we planted it again. Of course, didn't have as much seed. Yeah, if I had money, I'd have been out here planting some rye and stuff in it to get it to really start firing. So far, that hasn't worked out yet, but I'll get the animals across it. It made a decent amount of alfalfa last year. All that dead, all the brown you see out there, that's all alfalfa plants. So it should be pretty decent. It'll be really decent for grazing. There's a lot more dirt in it showing than I'd like because of the drought and stuff. But hey, management, right? And I'll get it better. And I'll never plow up ground like that again. The reason we did this was that there was a weed in it, and well, the grass was tired, is what old farmers are saying. You know, your grass is tired, you got to replant grass. And before the regen thing, that's what we thought we had to do, so that's what we did. And then the drought hit. But this will be really good for grazing. And once I have this 160 up in this box, I can take the box and I can go that way with it and finish off to the edge of the land. So our land ends at that field right. No, don't focus on my finger. At that field right there. So right there is where it ends. So we'll have to do a box there, and it'll come back and it'll meet up at the fence line in there. So yeah, we got that big projects fencing gonna be happening, but you know, it's like eating an apple or something. You start with one bite at a time, and doing this square of this 160, you know, that'll help protect the sheep better than just the netting. If I can, I should have enough wire and everything to get really good tensile, you know, keep the coyotes out, keep the predators away. And I won't have to worry about them so much because we're getting away. I mean, we're ways away from the house. So I've, you know, all winter long I kept them up close to where I could kind of hear them. With the old wood stove and stuff in the house, my window's usually open anyway, no matter what temperature it is outside. So, you know, if I could always hear them if they really started going off and barking and sounding like they were in trouble. Out here, I won't be able to do that. So I got to protect them the best I can, and that's going to be with that high tensile fence. My only thing I don't really like is that the fence that's going to be going from over here across, that's going to be an interior fence, and it's going to have to be that 5 strands of high tensile instead of just, you know, instead of just a 2. Ideally, here in the next year or 2 or 3, when depending on how the money comes in and the droughts and all that wonderful stuff, I'm just going to have the perimeter as the 5 to 7 strand of hot wire, and then just run the single strands out to where I can run my poly off of it out here. Should be pretty good, but right now, yeah, that's gonna, I don't want to say it's a waste of wire because it's gonna be a nice stretch of fence, and I'll always be able to build off of it. It's just, at the moment, not necessarily the best resource use. But it is what it is, and that's how the game's got to be played for me this year. Hand I'm dealt. So, yeah. This field here should be extremely tall alfalfa. Should be very good as far as the nutrients and all that. The sheep will gain weight out here on this field. It doesn't, looks kind of sparse here at the moment. If I walk through, it'd look really sparse because there's, I don't know, I'm going to say there's like a 40% stand out there. Which, that really sucks, but the sheep, the alfalfa will grow, and the green, there'll be plenty of green out there for them, and they'll eat it right up. And who knows, maybe if I don't get to plant nothing now, I'll be able to come back in with a summer mix right behind them and broadcast that, or broadcast it in front of them and have them working in. And I'm just going to be trying to experiment like that with some different seeds this year and see what happens. So I think my brother's going to be planting some of his chicken feed mix out there on that green field. It doesn't produce nothing for hay anymore anyway, so see if we can't get some chicken feed that way. Yeah. But I reckon that'll do it for this video, folks. If you're still here, thanks for watching and listening to me talk about grass, and y'all have a good one.